I just entered my 4th month as a booktube content creator. It's time to make some updates. Hey everyone, welcome back to the next chapter. My name is Christopher Navo and I'm going to be your host. If this is your first time joining, thank you for stopping by. I do appreciate it. Please leave a comment and let me know what you think of the content. Today's video is just kind of like a quick wrap up, quick summary of just how I feel this channel is going from the last 3 months and what I want to do with it going forward. Now, first off, I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning into my channel. It is growing a lot faster than I thought it was going to. I'm very pleased to see its growth and how people are interacting with it and having some fun commenting and letting me know just things that are they think are working, things that I'm doing that they enjoy. And I just want to continue from that and build a little bit more on that. What I think is working so far for me is, well, my reading habits have definitely improved over last year. I mean, last year I wasn't reading a lot. As I mentioned way back in my intro, I was in a dark age. I wasn't reading a lot, and that's really picked up over the last half year. I would say I was even starting to read again a bit since last October, November. I was reading a lot of series, getting into a groove. So then when I started this channel in April, I would be ready just to go. I've done really well so far for the year. I'm up to, I believe, 36 books. For me, that's a good amount of books, considering last year maybe I've read like maybe at the most 8 for the whole year. So definitely an improvement. And my goal for this year was 52. So I'm already know that I'm ahead of schedule here with still a half a year to go, a little less with July being over. But yeah, I'm really happy with my results. The other things I was looking at, I was watching my intro video just to see what I was talking about, what I hope to have with this channel. And the other thing I'm really proud that I've continued to push on my channel is my promotion for self-published authors. I have been really steadily reading self-published books every month, usually mixed in with some traditional published books, so usually around 2 to 3 books a month. I've introduced SPIFBO 9 entries as well into my regular self-published books, and I'm going to continue to do so. I like the split of 50-50 reads of traditional published books that I still want to read, as well as hitting these self-published books and give them a little bit of spotlight. So I'm going to continue that on this channel. This is really important to me as a future writer myself, and again, we'll probably go the self-published route. The other things I like that have been happening for me and this channel is just the interactions with viewers and fellow content creators, just doing some buddy reads. I participated in a couple of collaboration videos talking about books, which I was extremely grateful for, some live streams. And I'm getting a little more involved in the Discord communities, which before I was pretty shy, you know, I didn't know anybody, and I'm starting to build some of those relationships, which is really important, I think, to have in this community. And I definitely want to continue that. I think it's moving in the right direction for me, and having these interactions, and it just enables you to want to read more, I think. So things I want to change a little bit when it comes to my reading habits. I think you'll have noticed a lot of what I've covered in the first 3 months of my channel is a lot of fantasy, and I do want to get more sci-fi books and horror and some historical fiction in as well into my reads. Now I have some ideas for how I'm going to handle those and get those into my TBRs, which are for me are very limited because I'm not a fast reader. But I think I can find a way to really work in some of these other types of genres that I want to add. This is also including some possible literary fiction, as well as some reference books as well that I think might be kind of beneficial and kind of go along with this theme of this channel. For instance, I think when it comes to historical fiction, when I put together historical fiction books I wanted to read, that was actually my, analytically speaking, as a content creator, that was my most viewed video that I put out. So that tells me that, you know, there is that audience thirsty for those historical fiction reads, at least. And again, I want to open up my repertoire a little bit with some sci-fi. I have some sci-fi reads that I have already going on. I have the Red Rising series going on. I need to get back to that. I have the Sun Eater series by Christopher Rocchio. I need to get back to that, as well as some self-pub books that have recently arrived that are sci-fi as well. So I have a good chunk ready to go, and I just need to work those into my TBR, and I hope to do so more into the future. So talking about the channel itself, again, looking back at that intro video, there's a lot of things I wanted to do. Some of them kind of fell by the wayside. The first one I want to mention is kind of my retro read segment. I really want to get back into this and reading those 80s and 90s fantasy books that maybe when we were younger, or, you know, some of us are a little older than others, but we remember fondly, and I want to get back into that segment. So I'm really going to make sure I work in those retro reads in the next upcoming months that I promised to do, because I think there are people interested in those 80s and 90s books. YouTube, booktube wasn't around, Discord wasn't around back then, so these books never really got a big promoted spotlight that a lot of the modern fantasy are getting today. So yeah, I want to go back and explore those books, see how well they hold up into a modern reading day, and yeah, just enjoy them for what they were back then. The other thing I've been really lacking on this channel is reviews. So I'm very limited on my time, and as you can tell, I only get out a video maybe once a week, and sometimes it's even a little bit longer. And the one thing I'm proud that I've been doing is when I put out a video, I talk about a lot of books at once. So when it comes to reviews, just dedicating one book to a whole video, I'm still up in the air on that, and but I want to get to reviews. Now, I have been doing monthly wrap-ups of just kind of like a quick summary of the books I read, how I felt about them, and I'm gonna finish that up through July. So I will have a July wrap-up video of everything I read for this month coming up here. But I am going to start tackling more streamlined reviews coming up in the coming months, and I figured the best way to do that is maybe a mid-month check-in, and then I can split like the month up from reads I have done like in the beginning of the month as compared to the end of the month, and that way I can maybe build a review video with maybe a couple of books for the first half of the month, and then the wrap-up at the end for the second half of the month. That way I can make those reviews a little bit lengthier, a little more detailed on how I felt about them, rather than just a quick summary. And I figured that might be the best way to do reviews. I'm also coming up with a review system, because I don't use the 5 stars unless I'm in a readathon and I have to put out a Goodreads review, or, you know, an author, especially the self-published ones, you know, need those reviews because it helps promote their books. So I do try to put out those good reviews, but the star system is just not I'm a fan of. And definitely when I do these videos, I'm not going to do any kind of star reviewing. I'm just gonna kind of base the things on what I kind of initially set out for, you know, separate the prose, the writing style, the character development, the world building, and then the general plot, and then just kind of put my final, like, spin my review together from that. And I figure I'm going to split the month in half on how I'm going to do those reviews, and I think it'll be a little more easier on me rather than doing one single book individual reviews, and just have a couple reviews in one video for like mid-month. Let me know what you think about that. The one thing I'm probably gonna lose temporarily is I was talking in my intro about storytelling in gaming, and I did do one video so far. My goal on this was one every kind of like quarter. I actually really enjoyed putting that video together. It was a lot of research. It's a lengthy video. I did the first storytelling in video gaming based on the video game Resident Evil Village. And I had a lot of fun doing the research, putting the story together. As much as I loved doing that video, it was probably my least performed well video analytically. It's okay. You know, I think, people are turned off by the fact that it was a gaming sort of video as compared to more specific books, which is where have my platform set. Maybe it belongs on a video game type of content format. I still want to play around with this. Maybe if my channel continues to grow, I might have a separate channel focused on gaming, because I do miss a little bit of that in my life. I don't play as much games anyway as I have normally liked. I do have a couple going on, but nothing like too extensive. The last thing I want to add is maybe possibly a writing segment. Now, I am going to start reading monthly some writing reference books, and maybe how they affect the writer in me, and how they maybe affect you on a personal artistic level. And I think even if you're not a writer, any kind of like creative outlet that you do in your life, I think could benefit from some of these writing books, because a lot of what I have read so far can affect any type of creative outlet. And I want to share that a little bit with you. So I am going to continue kind of like a writing segment portion, maybe talk about these particular books in that, rather than at the end with my wrap up with my fantasy and sci-fi. So what do I have upcoming? Right now, I've just started with fellow content creator Laura from Fantasy Awash. We are hitting up the TV adaptation of The Wheel of Time. And we did our first live stream discussion of the first episode of season 1. So we're kind of quickly getting ourselves recapped with the first season in anticipation for the second season. The first live discussion we had was a lot of fun. We are planning to continue this upcoming month of August doing the first season. I think we are planning to do a couple episodes from here on out to get ourselves caught up by the end of the month to start the new season in September. And I'm glad I'm finally hitting media, because I haven't really touched on TV or movies a lot yet on my channel. I want to change that up a little bit. I do want to factor in other forms of media still on my channel. I'll have to see, but I want to focus more on the reading at this time. Also, a lot of the buddy reads I've been doing, we have plans for, of course, live streams. That's going to continue. I am part of a buddy read of the Malazan Book of the Fallen series. We just finished Gardens of the Moon this month. Obviously, I plan to read Dead House Gates in the following month. We are planning to have live discussions on that. And this is kind of like what I hope to do. Like, if I don't do like a general, like specific book review, the live discussions are going to be, I think, a lot more fun and a lot more interactive with the viewers. And then speaking of you guys as the viewers, I want to do a lot more interaction with you guys as well. I believe it was last April or May, I put out a poll for you guys to pick a read for the month, and I want to go back to that just so you guys have some interaction with what I read, because I enjoyed that. I had a lot of fun with you guys picking my read as well. And then speaking of that, I also have an upcoming video because I put out another list poll of horror books, thriller, suspense books that you recommend, and I want to get that video out as well. So I want to do more of those community outreach kind of polls or recommendations from you guys, get you guys interactive on my channel, and I think that will be a lot of fun. So I think that's it for this wrap up. Let me know what you think of these changes or things I'm going to keep. Do you think I should keep them or vice versa or whatever? Otherwise, that's all I got for right now. I'm excited for the month of August. I'll have my TBR for that this month coming up in the next few days. My name is Christopher Navo. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And I hope to see you in the next chapter. Take care.